What's up, everyone? Just want to make sure you guys could hear me before I start going on a little spiel here. Let me know in the comment area. I'm looking at it. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Oh, little echo. I guess you guys can because I just heard myself through the speakers. Well, that's good. So with that said, oh, Golden Hero said yes. All right, good. With that said, welcome to another episode of Variant Live. First things first, I'm going to just jump right into it. Last week, as you guys know, we had you guys vote on a poll on what is the next anime we are going to watch from week to week. Some of you may not know, some of you may know that in the month of December and a little bit of November, we would watch two episodes of My Hero Academia for the whole month until we finished the first season, and it was really, really fun. So we put a poll up last week for you guys to vote for what the next anime series is going to be, and we put Attack on Titan up and Bravest Warriors. And you guys voted, and 80% of you voted for Attack on Titan. So that is the next anime that we are going to watch. Now you may be saying, well, how the heck am I supposed to watch Attack on Titan? I don't know where to watch it. Is it on TV? Is it on here? Well, we're going to be watching it through Verve. As you guys know, they've partnered with the show several times. They're a really cool anime streaming service. They don't only have Attack on Titan. They have a bunch of other things like Dragon Ball Super, My Hero Academia. It's just, the list goes on. I believe they have like even anime like Death Note, just a bunch of almost anything anime you can think of, they have. And if you sign up with Verve with the link we have in the description below, you'll get a free 30-day trial of their premium membership, meaning you will have no ads. So you'll be able to watch Attack on Titan ad-free, both seasons, either subbed or dubbed. It's great. That's how I recommend you do it. It's how I do it. It's easy. It's awesome. So you can watch along with us every week. This week we're going to be watching the first 2 episodes of season 1, obviously. So in the next Monday, we'll talk about the first 2 episodes, and I'll give you my thoughts because I haven't seen it yet. As shocking as it is, I haven't seen it yet. I know it's very popular. I kind of want to get all the popular animes out and then go to a little bit more of the obscure ones with you guys. But again, you can watch it on Verve. Link for that is in the description below. You get a free 30-day ad-free trial of their premium membership because Variant and Verve teamed together to give you guys something awesome. So yeah, homework for this week. Watch the first 2 episodes of season 1, Attack on Titan, and we will discuss next Monday all the anime glory. I hear it's pretty dark. I've seen clips and pieces of it, and I'm very excited, but it might be a little weird coming off of, kind of like a happy superhero anime like My Hero Academia and obviously Dragon Ball Super, watching week to week, where this one's a little more serious. Like you have big titans ripping off people's heads and stuff, but we'll see. I'm sure I'll like it. Too many people like it for me not, right? I mean, they all can't be wrong, right? Anyway, with that out of the way, first bit of news today, comic book news, which is actually, I believe, happened Friday, right over the weekend. It's a pretty big thing that happened. Scott Snyder, as you all know, is one of the biggest names in comic books right now. He started, not started with it, but what really blew him up was the New 52 Batman run. And after that, the guy has been like everywhere. Before that, he did like Batman Black Mirror and a bunch of other stuff, but he is top 3 biggest writers currently working in comics right now. And he's did around 50 issues of Batman. After that, he did, in the midst of that, he did Superman Unchained, Witches, a bunch of other stuff, All-Star Batman. He's currently in the DC Metal right now, which has been great. It's kind of that and Doomsday Clock are probably the 2 biggest or coolest comic book events going on right now. At least that's what I personally think. With that said, he will be taking over the Justice League title. Yeah, Scott Snyder will be writing a Justice League comic book, which is just all kinds of nuts. But before he takes over the flagship Justice League title, and I say flagship Justice League title, but you're like, what do you mean flagship Justice League title? Does that mean there's going to be multiple Justice League titles? Yes. Yes, that's exactly what it means. But it's a lot to remember, so I have it written down here. So I'm going to read it to you guys so I don't get any of it wrong. So what's first is going to happen is Scott Snyder is going to be writing a 4-part Justice League story called Justice League No Justice. He'll be writing it with Josh Williamson and James Tynion, I believe. Yes, James Tynion. He will be writing it with those 3 dudes. So they're going to be co-writing those 4 issues. And then after that 4-issue miniseries, Justice League No Justice, it's going to branch off into different Justice League team books. Scott Snyder will obviously write the flagship one because Scott Snyder, but then Josh Williamson and some of the other writers will take over the other Justice League books. Now, there's going to be 4 teams. So with the 4 teams, one would assume there's going to be 4 different books unless they have a core Justice, just a normal Justice League book, and then there's 4 other Justice League books, and then that means there's 5 Justice League books total. I'm not sure yet, but what we do know is what the teams are called and who is on the team for this Justice League No Justice miniseries. So the first team is going to be called Team Mystery. And on Team Mystery, there's going to be Martian Manhunter, Sinestro, Superman, Starfire, and Starro. Starro, yeah, the Justice League villain. These teams are also going to have villains on them, which is kind of crazy too. So these Justice League teams aren't just going to be all heroes. All 4 of them are going to have like villains or anti-heroes on the team. So that's Team Mystery. The next team is Team Wonder, which is going to have Raven, Dr. Fate, Zatanna, Wonder Woman, Etrigan, and Etrigan the Demon, which that's pretty cool. Dr. Fate, Etrigan, Raven, that's pretty crazy. Then you have characters like Wonder Woman. So that's a really interesting team to me, because that seems like that's a team that kind of deals with all the mystics. So if you got Raven, you got Dr. Fate, and Etrigan all on one team, and then for good measure, they're like Wonder Woman. Oh, and Zatanna. So actually kind of the only person on that team that doesn't really deal with like mystical type stuff is Wonder Woman. So that's curious. Curiouser and curiouser. After that, you have Team Wisdom. Team Wisdom will consist of Cyborg, Harley Quinn, Adam, the Flash, and Robin, which is Damian Wayne Robin. So that's interesting. Team Wisdom. Okay, so Cyborg, obviously. Cyborg, he can tap into anything, you know, computerized. Wisdom makes sense. Adam, one of the smartest guys in the DC universe, also makes sense. Flash, also incredibly smart, especially with his knowledge of the Speed Force. That kind of a little bit transfers into real world stuff, but plus he's just brilliant anyway. Then Robin, great detective, you know, his dad's Batman, makes sense there. But then you got Harley Quinn. So I'm like, all right, a little kooky. That's kind of weird. I feel like there's a trend of everyone on the team kind of makes sense except for one member. Every team seems like they're going to have that one member where it's like, oh, so clearly these characters all have something in common except this one. So I don't know. Obviously, that could be a big part of the story, which would be pretty interesting. We don't know much more as of now yet. And the last team is Team Team Entropy, which is Lobo, Lex Luthor, Beast Boy, Batman, and Deathstroke. That's pretty crazy too. So let's see, Lex Luthor, Beast Boy, Batman, Deathstroke. Batman and Deathstroke kind of make sense. They're both incredibly smart, fantastic fighters. Lobo, same thing, he's a brawler. Beast Boy and Lex Luthor kind of seem a little like the 2 out of place ones on that team. Lex Luthor's obviously incredibly smart. I mean, it's Lex Luthor. Jeff Johns himself said he's the smartest man in the DC universe. So I'm wondering, he seems like he would have fit more on Team Wisdom. But again, we don't know what's really happening here. We do know, though, it is worth mentioning. It's actually a big part mentioning. The reason why all these teams are coming together is because of Brainiac. Yeah, because of Brainiac. So I don't know if that's going to be because of something after DC Metal, like why they're working with Brainiac or for Brainiac. I don't know yet. This has just got announced a few days ago. So we do have art for it, though. Francis Manapul will be doing the art for the No Justice series, the 4-issue miniseries, so that's pretty cool. After that, the individual books, I have no idea. Again, as like more info and stuff comes out within the weeks and we get closer to it, obviously I'll talk about it here on Variant Live. But I mean, that's pretty cool to look forward to as of now, man. We got 4 new Justice League teams, which are pretty crazy. It's kind of random, some of the teams, but seems cool. There are 4 different teams based on 4 different, I guess, concepts, mystery, you know, wisdom, all that fun stuff, and it's called Justice League No Justice. So I'm looking forward to it. It's just like, I feel like, what is Scott Snyder gonna do like next? Because like he's done like almost everything. Like, where do you go like from the Justice League and as far as like in the DC universe? Like, you did the Justice League. As far as heroes wise, there's nothing. You can't go anywhere from there because you're writing the Flash, you're writing Batman, you're writing Superman, you're writing Green Lantern, you're writing Aquaman. Like, you're writing all of the A-list heroes in the DC like universe. So like in my brain, I'm like, okay, well maybe he'll do like a Legion of Doom book after this. Like, I don't know, or do another crazy like metal type event that's just like mind F's all of us, and we're like, how are you doing this? But the man is just amazing. So I'm looking very Very, very, very forward to this event. Also, Josh Williamson, James Tynion, they are also fantastic writers. If you guys aren't reading The Flash, you should definitely be reading The Flash. Awesome stuff going on there. Plus, Josh Williamson created Godspeed, which is like one of the favorite new villains within the last like year or so. Everyone loves Godspeed. And James Tynion does amazing work, Detective Comics, bunch of stuff. He came up with Scott Snyder, who's like his protege at the beginning of New 52, I believe. Anyway, that's what's going on the DC Comics front. Moving along, though, which this is a little bit of older news. It's like a week or so old. I forgot to talk about it last week, but it's pretty big news, so I have to talk about this as well. Dan Slott is leaving Spider-Man. How crazy is that? He's been writing Spider-Man for, I believe, just under a decade or a decade. 10 years. 10 years he's been writing Spider-Man, and he's finally leaving it. And it's pretty crazy because I've seen several interviews with him, and even live, you know, at like Comic-Cons and stuff. I've been at panels where I've watching him talk about Spider-Man and stuff, and saying, people would ask him, when are you leaving Spider-Man? You've been writing Spider-Man, you know, for for so long. And he's like, I will stay on the book until they make me get off the book. So I'm like, does that mean they're finally like, okay, Dan, 10 years. You've been writing Spider-Man for a decade. Time to move on. So I don't know. I'm just assuming that. I don't know if they forced him off or he, you know, he's just like, no, 10 years is enough. I mean, 10 years. That's crazy. Like, how many more stories can you think of a character after 10 years? I would imagine you would have done everything you wanted to do with the character after 10 years. But the cooler thing after that is he's not just leaving, you know, Spider-Man and doing nothing. So you guys might be like, well, what is he doing now? He's not going to just retire from writing comic books. No, he will be taking over Iron Man. He will be taking over the Iron Man book. Sorry, I'm getting over a head cold, so you might hear me cough throughout this. I'm just getting over it. Sorry. He'll be taking over the Iron Man title with Tony Stark under the Iron Helmet once again. So that'll be really, really, really cool. It said it'll kind of pick up from, I believe, Civil War II, or the Tony Stark from Civil War II is what I believe I read. But I'm looking excited for that. It's not a random choice for me, but I know he really, really loves the Silver Surfer. I know he did a Silver Surfer title already, which lasted, I think, 11 or 12 issues. So I would have imagined he would have done something more along those lines, try to get another ongoing with that. But, you know, doing Iron Man. I like Iron Man. Iron Man is, you know, probably one of my favorite Marvel characters. So why not? I'd like Dan Slott on some, I'd like him on Captain America. It'd be cool to see him on a Hulk book, although Greg Pak does amazing work on Hulk, so there's that. Sorry, I gotta tickle my throat. I'm gonna take a swig of water so I can talk to you guys properly. But yes, Dan Slott on Iron Man. I'm looking very, very excited to that. Staying in the Marvel world, though, but out of the comics into the movie landscape. So rumors were floating around this weekend that Tom Holland, aka Spider-Man, was actually or is going to be in the Venom movie. Yes, apparently he's going to be in the Venom movie. Says, I'm going to read you guys a quote. Says John Shep, who's the director of The Death of the Superman Lives, or The Death of Superman, The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. As you all know, you guys probably know of him. He's on YouTube and all that stuff as well. But he had a quote over the last weekend, I believe, that he said this. He says, quote, Spider-Man is going to be in Venom. For the last couple of months, we've been hearing how Sony is keeping it all separated, and Spider-Man is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But every other character that's in Spider-Man's universe is separate. All I'm saying is that Spider-Man, and I'm talking about Tom Holland's Spider-Man, is going to be in Venom. Now, the reason why people are like, okay, maybe he is because John knows a lot of people in the industry and a lot of directors and a lot of people, you know, just very close to the, you know, who people work on this movie or people who are actually working on these movies. So kind of, so people are kind of, you know, like maybe there is some weight behind this. So I'm not entirely sure. I know Kevin Feige and even, you know, Tom Holland himself have denied this in the past. So I'm kind of like very 50-50, even leaning towards no, just because of Kevin Feige and Tom Holland say no. It's most likely no. I don't see why they would lie to us unless it's like the biggest fake out ever where they're lying to us on purpose. So we're like, oh my God, he really is in the movie and you guys just faked this out. I mean, they could be doing that, but man, I am coughing like crazy, but I have no idea. I mean, again, this is really 50-50 for me, or even, probably not even, I guess. I'm leaning more towards no, but, you know, I'm trying to be a little optimistic because the one thing I'm annoyed about with this movie is, like, if you're going to do Venom again, make him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, why do him outside the MCU again? Like, You already partnered with Sony to have Spider-Man in the MCU. Why can't you do that with Venom? Like, it's clearly a win-win for both studios. Like, that makes no sense. So, I mean, if this is a fake out by Tom Holland and Kevin Feige, that's best case scenario. Because I don't care if they lied. I'd be like, okay, that's actually kind of funny. I just want Venom to be in the MCU. Especially, I love Tom Hardy. I'm a big Tom Hardy fan. I think he's great in pretty much everything he plays. So I was happy that he was cast as Eddie Brock. So to see Tom Holland facing off against Venom, Tom Hardy Venom, to be exact, that would be all kinds of crazy. So I'm hopeful. So the hopeful side of me is like, yes, I hope this is true. I hope this is true. But then like the logical side of me is like, it's probably not. It's probably not. Like, I don't see why like Kevin Feige, you know, would like straight out said in several interviews, no. Again, it could be a fake out, but I don't think that's how they roll. I don't think they do stuff like that, because it's like, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe this is part of the whole Phase 4 initiative. We're gonna fake people out. You're never gonna see what's coming. So there's that. So take that with a grain of salt. He says Tom Holland Spider-Man is gonna be in the Venom movie. Kevin Feige and Tom Holland say no. Do what you wish with that info. Moving along, still in the MCU universe, Brie Larson. There were set photos of her revealed over the weekend of her in her Captain Marvel outfit. Now, with that said, you guys have probably seen it. It's not her final Captain Marvel outfit. It seems like it's going to be one of those, you know, costumes heroes get in movies early on. It's like, you know, it's like we're almost there. It's like a suit in the making. It's like a pre-suit. It's not her final form yet. It pretty much looks like the Captain Marvel suit. It's just loose fitted. It's not as tight of a form fitting as what we've seen from concept art. And it's green. It's green and blue. So, I mean, it looks cool. It kind of looks like she's, you know, wearing a suit that's like a size or two too big because it's very baggy, but maybe that could be part of the joke. Maybe it just works in the scene. I don't know, but cool. I'm excited for it. With this kind of stuff, I like to see it in trailers, you know, first, because obviously with the cinematography and just VFX, they might change things here and there. But again, it's not even her final suit, so I'm not like that jacked up about it, because who's to say she's going to wear it long? Plus, again, it's not her final suit. I want to see the blue, red and gold suit. That's what I want to see, because we've only seen it in concept art, like a sketch from an artist. I want to see like that, because that would be awesome. I also would like to see her with the Mohawk. I don't think we're getting the Mohawk in the first movie. I don't think so. But maybe by the end, like, or in the end credit scene, or maybe for Infinity War, that would be awesome if we see her in the Mohawk. But I don't think it comes out after Infinity War. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a cameo of her in Infinity War, though. Maybe she'll be wearing a Mohawk, because it's like how the timeline's up. I don't know. All I know is eventually I want to see her with the Mohawk, because I think she just looks really, really cool with the Mohawk. But with that said, guys, I'm gonna do some Q&A. I'm gonna do some Q&A questions for a bit here. Talk to you guys. So ask questions away, and I will answer them. I will answer several of them. All right. Jonah says, will you do a history of the Runaways? They're my fave. Yes, I actually haven't watched the Hulu series yet. I know, right? It came out like a long time ago. I still haven't watched it, but there's just so much TV I've been watching. I haven't had time. But I will eventually do a history of the Runaways. If you're looking for a timeline, I can't give that to you. I can tell you the next 2 to 3 weeks or so are probably going to be Black Panther themed, just because the movie comes out February 16th. So we're going to have, the channel's going to be lots of Black Panther stuff coming up. Some histories of maybe the villains that are in the movie, maybe a Versus episode featuring Black Panther. I don't know, but yeah, it's going to start this week. Will be the first Black Panther themed episode all the way up to the movie. Then that doesn't mean like every single like Wednesday and Saturday episode is going to be Black Panther themed, but pretty much probably all the Wednesday episodes will be. Again, things could change, not guaranteeing that, but that's how it's looking right now. Okay, Josh Ruth says, do you read Spider-Gwen? Yes, I did read I believe I read like the early, I'm not current with it. I read the first, like, I think 12 issues of it or whatever when it first came out, and I loved it very, very much. I love the whole punk rock, she's in a band type thing, just the whole feel of the art. Big fan of Spider-Gwen. So I guess yes, but I'm not current. Let's see, what do we got here? Vapery Tiger says, do you think the MCU and DC EU? I don't know what that means. I'm assuming you're asking me which one I think is better. I think most people would agree that it's not even a competition. The MCU is obviously better than the DCU. The DCU, I do enjoy some parts. of what they've done. Wonder Woman is fantastic, but overall, they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of work to do. Justice League had a lot of fun parts. I've said it several times, but they got a ways to go. So MCU, easy, easy, easy. Let's see. Noodle Dude says, Blue Beetle, will you do a Blue Beetle video? Yes. Blue Beetle actually, as you may or may not know, a while back we did a history of Booster Gold. So with that, I believe I said in that episode that this means, of course, it's only a matter of time before we do a history of Blue Beetle because they kind of go hand in hand. They're like best buds. So yes, sometime this year, again, I don't know month-wise, a Blue Beetle video will probably be done because it only makes sense. Especially since he's kind of up and coming with DC Rebirth and all that stuff. I'm sure he'll have a bigger part as it goes along. All right, let's see what we got here. Van Henderson says, who wins, Justice League or Avengers? Actually, we did a video on that a long time ago, and that's the short version of that without explaining and getting into all the detail, even though you could watch the Justice League vs. Avengers video that we put up a few years ago. But the short version of that is it's no contest, Justice League all day long. Just DC heroes are naturally, and more often than not, just more powerful than Marvel heroes. That's just how the universe is built. Like the DC universe is just built on heroes that are like gods essentially, while the Marvel universe is built on heroes that are more street level, you know, a little more relatable. So, I mean, I'm not saying, you know, one is better than the other. It's just you have like a universe of pretty much mostly these god beings with characters that are mostly street level. Now, not saying, obviously Marvel has incredibly powerful characters as well, but overall, especially if you're talking about like the main roster of the Justice League or the main roster of the Avengers, Justice League all day long, easy peasy. All right, let's see. Answer a few more here. D3645 says, are you going to do a history of Beast Boy? I do plan on doing individual history of episodes of Titans characters once the live action Teen Titans TV show comes out, which I believe is at the end of this year, I think. Either it's the end of this year, beginning of next year. Anyway, whenever the Teen Titans live action TV show comes out on the new DC streaming platform, I will be doing several Teen Titan themed episodes, including, you guys have been like requesting this for a long time now, a history of the actual Teen Titans. And then obviously, you know, as the show progresses or even before the show, it'll, you know, I might do like a history of Raven, a history of Beast Boy, a history of Dick Grayson or Nightwing, you know, even though he's Robin in the show. But yeah, so all that is to come. The Tang Boss says, how many Pop Funkos do you have? Not that many, actually. I don't really collect that many Funko Pops. I do have them. You could probably, I don't know if the camera, you could see them. I have some Power Ranger ones back there, a Batman one, and then at home, I do have all, okay, so I say not that many, but I probably have like 40. But to me, that's not that many, because that's not like the, I know that's a lot to some of you, but that's because I collected the Batman animated series line, because I collect almost everything Batman animated series related, so whether I like it or not, if it's like, has Batman animated series on it, I'm a sucker for it. So all the Funko Pops from Batman the Animated Series I bought, and there's like, I think like almost 20 in that, you know, that little run or series alone. And then plus these Power Ranger ones. So I think I got like anywhere like 30 to 40. And then I have My Hero Academia ones, because once I watched the anime, I was like, I need to earn some My Hero Academia merchandise. And there's not that many My Hero Academia merchandise out, shockingly enough, besides like t-shirts and stuff, which I want a t-shirt. But I saw the All Might Pop and a Deku Pops, and they were like only $8 on Amazon, so I bought them. So yeah, so I don't normally try to collect Funko Pops, but every now and then if it's a property I really like, I will buy them. So to answer your question, 30 to 40? That was a really long way of answering your question. Let's see, what do we got here? Ali says, who is your favorite Marvel Comics character? I think I even answered that question before. My favorite Marvel Comics character is easily SpiderMan. I've loved SpiderMan so much. He's actually in my top 3 favorite characters of all time. Peter Parker SpiderMan, all day long, grew up on him. So yeah, short and sweet, Peter Parker Spider-Man. Battle Guy Cope says, hopes for My Hero Academia Season 3. Oh man, I hear it's coming back in April. I'm very, very excited. I was so, because I watched I watch 2 episodes a week with you guys here on Mondays. and then we would talk about it. But then over Christmas break, I binge watched the whole second season, and I was sad I kind of did in a sense because now I don't have any more to watch, but I just wanted it so much. Anyway, hopes for season 3. Without giving any spoilers away, because I'm sure there's lots of people who haven't seen it, I want to see Deku master his abilities even more. Like, I want to see him go all out. I want to see him, you know, wreck shop that. I also want to see him fight alongside All Might. I think that would be really cool to see, you know, a battle of them, like almost like tag team WWE action style. So I want to. That's my main thing, though. I want to see Deku go all out, and I want some cool. There's already some awesome villains, but I want to see. I'm excited to see what happens to Stain the hero killer. But I can't say much more without risking spoiling it for you people, and then you guys yelling at me and being mad at me, and I don't want that. So I'm leaving it at that. I'm going to answer about 3 more questions, then I'm going to get out of here. Let's see here. J Arch says, digital or physical comic books? This was a super easy question for me a few years ago. It was always print. Now, with that said, flash forward to current. I still do love print more than there's nothing like holding the actual art in book in your hands, having a physical like copy of something. But I have to admit, as of the last 1.5 or 2 years, I've been buying comics mainly digital. And that's just because it's just so much more convenient. It's more convenient, and like obviously I've been reading comics for a long time, so like it's hard when you get to a certain point, it's like, where do you put them? Where do you put them? So I'm more selective with what I buy now. So I do like print more. So there's certain comics series I will always buy print. Batman, SpiderMan, there's like about like a handful of them I always get print. But for the most part, like the rest of my pull list is all digital. There's only probably like 4 titles I get print now. And again, it's just because it's so convenient. You know, like even just not even just not having to go to the comic book store, you know, take time out of your day, because I love doing that. But let's face it, I'm older, I have a kid now, I can't always do that. Just reading it in bed, like it's hard to read a book in the dark. Like if my wife's sleeping in bed and, you know, I want to read a comic book, I can't, you know, put the light on because it's going to wake her up or distract her and stuff. So if it's on my iPad, it's just stupid simple, and it's just, you know, I don't worry about the pages getting ripped, I don't worry about bagging and boarding it or the comic book getting wet. So as of late, digital, but again, I still really love print. Like if you were asking me like one had to go out of existence, like it's either digital or print, one's gonna go extinct, I guess still print, but man would I miss digital. Man would I miss it, because it's just so much easier to read, and even like, you know, with Variant you know, get pictures and stuff for you guys for the shows. So love print, but digital's way more convenient. I hope that answers your question. Rami says, Doomsday Clock issue 3. It was awesome. Very cool. I loved seeing Batman and Rorschach interact. That was really cool. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's going to be spoilers, but at the end with Batman and Rorschach, the little twist was awesome. There's also another thing happening with Mime and another character, on a certain character they might meet who kind of is in their realm. I don't want to spoil that for you guys, which is why I haven't talked about it too much here. But maybe I'll do another day when issue 4 comes out or something. I'll do a spoiler warning with you guys. But since I'm in the Q&A portion, I don't want to have to do a spoiler warning for you guys because I just want to be able to answer your questions. So maybe next week or when issue 4 comes out, I will talk about Doomsday Clock issue 3. M Enterprises asks, Deadpool or Deathstroke? Deathstroke. I mean, I purely because Deathstroke was around before Deadpool, meaning I knew of Deathstroke and read Deathstroke way before Deadpool was even invented. Plus, I don't know, I just a fan of Deathstroke more. I think Slade is just cooler. I like his costume more. I love Deadpool. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Deadpool, but at the end of the day, I like me some Deathstroke. All right, 2 more questions, then I'm getting out, guys. Let's see here. Dennis Cleary asked, Hal Jordan or Kyle? Which I would assume Kyle Rayner. Hal Jordan all day long. Again, grew up with Hal Jordan first. Loved Hal Jordan always. Plus, I mean, Hal Jordan, is there really a Green Lantern more powerful than Hal Jordan? He freaking created, get this, a lot of you know this, but he created his own Green Lantern ring out of his own willpower. He literally created a Green Lantern ring out of will. So that's pretty crazy. But just again, Hal Jordan. And then my second one would probably be Jon Stewart, because the Justice League Unlimited cartoon and Justice League cartoon growing up. And then probably Kyle Rayner. So in that order. So I guess it's Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner. All right, guys, last question, and then I'm getting out of here until next week, or I guess until Wednesday. That's when you guys will see me next. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna pick a good one. Nightshade asks, Spider-Man 2099 or Miles Morales? Now, I kind of answered this question last week, but I wanted to elaborate it a little more, which is why I'm answering it. I read it and answering it again. I thought about it more. Last week I said Miles Morales, but then I was like, oh no, Spider-Man 2099. And now that I'm marinated on it a little bit more and I really thought about it, it's probably going to be Spider-Man 2099. Purely just because I had so much fun going to the comic book shop and buying his comics and reading them. Growing up, I just love the artwork. His costume was really cool. The blue with the cape webbing. Just a really, really fun read. Plus Miguel O'Hara is just a cool concept. How he has, like, you know, the fangs and the talons and all that stuff. But I love me some Miles Morales. Plus, he's Puerto Rican like me, so I gotta represent Miles Morales. But Spider-Man 2099 purely just because more nostalgia. I grew up with him more. But I'm very excited for Miles Morales and the Into the Spider-Man verse movie coming out, I believe, in December. So that's gonna be really fun. But with that said, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up, and I will see you next time. More specifically, hopefully this Wednesday, or when I talk about all things comics.